Why we love shortcuts. Let's be honest, we love shortcuts. We're drawn to anything that promises faster results, less pain, fewer steps. A shortcut feels smart, efficient, modern, and sometimes it is. Shortcuts exist because humans innovate. They're the reason we don't wash clothes in rivers anymore. They're why technology saves us time, energy, and effort. A shortcut can eliminate wasted motion. It can remove unnecessary suffering. It can free up mental space for things that actually matter. The problem isn't shortcuts themselves. The problem is why we take them. If a shortcut is taken to remove friction that no longer serves growth, it's wisdom. If it's taken to avoid discomfort that creates growth, it's sabotage. The danger starts when we confuse efficiency with avoidance, and most shortcuts don't just shorten the path, they quietly remove the lesson. The cost nobody talks about: every shortcut charges a fee. It just doesn't send the bill right away. When you skip steps, you often skip understanding. When you bypass effort, you weaken resilience. When you rush outcomes, you delay mastery. Shortcuts can get you there faster, but they rarely help you stay there. You see it everywhere. Overnight success stories that collapse, fast money that disappears, quick fixes that create long-term problems because the skipped struggle was doing more than slowing you down. It was teaching discipline, building judgment, hardening patience. When life tests you later, and it will, you reach for tools you never developed. The real cost of shortcuts isn't failure, it's fragility. You don't notice it until pressure arrives and you realize the foundation was never poured. When shortcuts are actually smart. Not all shortcuts are bad. Some are earned. A shortcut becomes legitimate when it's built on experience, when you understand the long road so well that you can safely cut across it. Experts use shortcuts differently than beginners. They don't skip learning. They compress it. They know what matters and what doesn't. They remove noise, not effort. They trim excess, not essentials. That's why advice from the untested is dangerous. They offer shortcuts they've never paid for. Real shortcuts come after repetition, after failure, after doing it the hard way enough times to recognize the pattern. The rule is simple. If you can't explain why the shortcut works, you probably haven't earned it yet. The question that decides everything before taking a shortcut: ask one question. What am I avoiding? Am I avoiding wasted time or necessary work? Am I avoiding inefficiency or discomfort? Am I protecting momentum or escaping accountability? That answer tells you everything. Shortcuts that save time but preserve growth are tools. Shortcuts that save pain but steal growth are traps. The long road isn't punishment, it's preparation. And the irony is this: most people take shortcuts to get ahead faster, only to spend years going back to learn what they skipped. Sometimes the fastest way forward is staying on the road long enough to become someone who doesn't need shortcuts anymore. The psychology behind shortcuts. Psychologically, shortcuts aren't really about speed. They're about relief. The brain is wired to conserve energy. It looks for the path of least resistance, especially under stress. So when discomfort shows up, the mind doesn't ask, "What will grow me?" It asks, "What will make this stop?" That's why shortcuts feel good in the moment. They reduce anxiety. They quiet uncertainty. They offer the illusion of control. But here's the psychological trade-off. Every time you avoid effort, your brain learns that avoidance works, and learned avoidance becomes a habit. Habits become identity. Over time, the mind associates discomfort with danger instead of development, so it starts protecting you from growth itself. This is how people become stuck while staying busy. Productive, but not progressing. moving but not advancing. Real confidence doesn't come from shortcuts. It comes from evidence, proof that you can tolerate discomfort and survive it. That proof rewires the brain. The healthiest minds don't eliminate hard things. They build tolerance for them. So the real question isn't whether shortcuts exist. It's whether you're using them to save time or to escape becoming someone stronger. And psychologically, the mind always knows the difference.